Hello everyone. So in this interview question, we are going to be discussing placement group. Now, if someone asks you what is a placement group, this placement group is just a way of logically having two or more instances closely tied together. So let's say we have an application, and in this application, we are trying to get low latency. That means we want things to be really, really fast. We can place them in a placement group. This allows AWS to place them most on the same host. So let's say we need 5 instances, and those 5 instances need to be able to talk as fast as possible. Placement group allows them to be placed on the same host, and it communicates. As long as they communicate with their private IP, they can go to the speed of up to the speed of 10 gigabits per second. If they are communicating with public IP, up to 5 gigabits per second. So we use placement group if we are trying to make things to be really, really fast. Now, since we are trying to place them as close as possible on the same host, placement group cannot span different availability zone. Right? That makes sense. Now, and also, you don't have to create all your instances at the same time that you created your placement group. You can create your placement group and launch your instance into the placement group. Now, it is advisable to have instances of the same type in the same placement group, in the sense that if there so that there will be enough space. AWS is going to be able to accommodate instances that are the same type, unlike the case of having instances of different type. And one thing also, if you have a bunch of instances in a placement group and you try to launch another instance, if there is no more space on that particular host, right, for the placement group, it's not going to be launched into the placement group. That's why it's advisable for you to launch instances of the same type into the same placement group. And also, one of the limitations is we cannot span more than one availability zone. And also, placement group is only available to certain instances. You can see them right here. And one another one that I also want to point out is in the fact that you cannot move existing instance into a placement group. So if you create a placement group, all the existing instances cannot be moved into the placement group. Only new ones can be launched into the placement group. And also, if you have two different placement groups, you cannot combine them together, even if they are of the same type. What you can do is terminate the instances in one and launch new ones into the other placement group. Now, I would have loved to give you an example of placement group. Let me go to my placement group. Yeah, let me create a placement group. Let me see. And the name of a placement group must be unique in your account. Let's just say low latency. Let's see. Great. All right. This is weird. Low latency. See? Oh, it already exists. Nice. What happened? Okay, low latency too. Why is it not showing up? All right, so the goal of this video is just to explain theoretically what placement group is, And to give you also to give you also of the limitation. Now, in most cases, this is the most important limitation, and also launching them, moving instances around in the placement group. Now, those are the most important limitation that you have to understand about the placement group. You cannot just move things around when you have them in the placement group. Everything depends on availability of space, and also the kind of instance that you're trying to launch into the placement group. It affects the speed. It affects how AWS handle the distribution and finding host for your placement group. Thank you very much.